We go through difficulties. We go through hard times. But this is where Christmas comes in your notes, that God will give us hope in the middle of chaos. In the middle of the storm, God will give you hope. In the middle of the difficulty, God will give you hope, because there are no hopeless situations, only people who have given up and lost hope. Have you lost your hope? You might be looking at your situation saying, this is hopeless. No, the situation isn't hopeless. Maybe you've given up hope. Maybe you've lost hope. Maybe you've allowed the enemy to steal your hope and your joy. There are no hopeless situations, only hopeless people. Is your hope in Jesus Christ our Lord? Because what God starts, God finishes. What God begins, God will end. What God initiates, God completes. So I have hope that I can bounce back. I have a hope for the future. It's like there was this guy, and he was walking by a little league field, and he saw some kids out there. They were playing baseball, and he went up to one of the kids in the dugout and says, how's the game going? What's the score? And the little boy says, it's 18-0, we're losing. And the guy says, wow, that's you must feel pretty discouraged about that. And the little boy says, why should I feel discouraged about that? We haven't even got up to bat yet. You know, even in the middle of difficulties, the story is not over yet. The story is not over. God is not finished. You may be thinking, but I'm a mess. Hey, you don't know the mess that I'm in my life. I say, you don't know my God. My God is bigger. My God is stronger than any difficulty that you may face. Classic Christmas song that we sing. In fact, our band did a version of it, put it online this past week, "O Holy Night." And there's a line that stands out to me in that song, "O Holy Night." It says, the thrill of hope. The weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. A weary world. That kind of describes our world, doesn't it? Kind of describes 2020, doesn't it? Weary world. Like, we're weary. We're like, I can't wait till January 1st. As if that's going to make any difference, to be honest with you. We're like, hey, you know, this world is so weary. This world is weary. We feel overwhelmed. We feel anxiety because relationships are falling apart and disease is spreading throughout our world, and our finances maybe are crumbling, and the addiction that we hope to beat is just getting stronger in our life. And we say, I can barely keep my head above water. Can you relate to this? A weary world, weary world. But it says the thrill of hope. The thrill of hope. You know, hope is a thrill. Hope brings that in the chaos of a holy night, in a chaos of a night where Jesus was born. There was a thrill of hope, and this hope changed everything. And so what does the weary world do? It says the thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices. Rejoices, we have joy. If there is weariness in your life today, if there is weariness and tiredness and anxiety, there is a thrill of hope. We need to find the faith that we can rejoice, because even in the chaos of night, there is a new and glorious morn on the horizon. See, that new morning changed everything. When Jesus was born, that changed everything. The Son of God came to earth. He was born to give us hope, to give us salvation, to give us freedom. Because a moment with Jesus changes everything. Too many people are trying to survive in a hope-deprived life. They're putting their hope in all of the wrong places, putting their hope in Wall Street, putting their hope in their job, putting their hope in their schooling and their education, putting their hope in the government, Lord, help us all, putting their hope in another person. When we're trying to put our hope in a cure and a vaccine, putting our hope in all the wrong places where our hope needs to be placed on Jesus Christ, our Lord, because in your notes, we end up hopeless when we put our hope in the wrong places. If you've been feeling hopeless, maybe it's because your hope is in the wrong place. Do I only have hope when I'm feeling healthy? Do I only have hope when I have enough money in the bank account? Do I only have hope when things are going my way? Or is my hope based on something else? We'll close with this verse in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 23. It says, let us hold tightly without wavering to the hope we affirm. Are we holding tightly to that hope? Are we holding tightly to the hope of Jesus Christ? Or are we getting distracted by the wind and the waves? It says, let us hold tightly without wavering to the hope we affirm, for God can be trusted to keep his promise. We need to grab on to this. We need to hold on to hope. Cling as if our very life depends on it, because it does. We need to hold tightly to hope. Hope that he will keep his promises. Are you holding tightly to the hope? This past week, I was pulling a trailer with my truck, and I pulled into a parking lot, and I heard this noise, and I looked through my rearview mirror, and I see the front of my trailer just bouncing around like this. I'm like, wow, what is that? And I hear banging and all that, and I stop the car, and I go back there. And apparently, when I hooked the trailer to my car, I forgot the little flip thing to flip it down to lock it onto the car. And so the trailer lost its grip on the car, and all chaos broke loose. I thought I'm fortunate I didn't break a window or something worse, but it let go. Some of us, we've done that in our life. We've let go of the hope of Jesus Christ. We've let go of the hope. Too many people let go of hope, and instead they grab a hold of fear and worry and doubt and anxiety. We need to let go of those things. So many people let go of the truth and cling to a lie. We need to do the opposite. You need to let go of fear, let go of panic, and hold on to hope. Hold on to the promises of God. Don't lose hope. You may need to hear this today. Don't let go of the hope. Don't give up and don't surrender, because it might be dark for a while, but there is a new day coming. There may be sorrow for the night, but joy, it comes in the morning. Yes, there is a weariness, but there is also a thrill of hope, because there's a new day coming. And Christ can change everything in a moment. He can change everything. My hope needs to be on him. My hope comes from Jesus. Because he was born, I have hope for tomorrow. Because he lives, I have hope for the future. And even in weariness and in hopelessness and in depression, I have hope. And even if it is dark out, I can rejoice because the sun has come.